All right, let's get right into it. You know how every once in a while a new term starts popping up in tech, and then all of a sudden you can't escape it? Well, right now, that term is Agentic AI. We're going to break down why some of the sharpest people in the business are betting that this is way more than a buzzword. It might just be the biggest trend to watch in 2026.
And look, this isn't just random chatter. When you have three of the heaviest hitters in venture capital, we're talking Sequoia, Andreessen Horowitz, and Insight Partners, all saying the same thing at the end of 2025, well, that's when you really need to listen up. These guys don't just predict the future, they pour billions of dollars into creating it. So what on earth did they see that made them so sure?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Because the term itself sounds a little out there, like something from a sci-fi movie. So before we even touch on the market or any of the opportunities, let's get a really clear, simple handle on what we're actually talking about. What makes an AI agentic?
So the key word here, the whole game changer, is autonomy. We're not talking about an AI that just waits for you to ask a question anymore. Think bigger. Agentic AI is about giving a system a goal, a big, complex goal like, hey, research every single piece of relevant information for this new legal case, or build me a fully functional website for my new coffee shop. And then it just goes and does it. It figures out the steps, uses the software it needs, and remembers what it learned along the way, all by itself.
Okay, so you might be thinking, AI agents, that idea isn't exactly brand new. And you'd be right. But there's a reason 2026 is the year this is all blowing up. In late 2025, a few absolutely critical pieces of technology finally clicked into place. It was the moment these systems went from being a cool idea in a lab to being actual practical tools. Let's look at the ingredients that made it happen.
Think of it like a three-legged stool. For the longest time, one of the legs was wobbly, and the whole thing couldn't stand up. But now, first, the reasoning got so much better. These AIs can actually plan complex projects now. Second, they learned how to use our digital tools. Browse the web, use different apps, send emails, without a person holding their hand. And third, and this is a big one, they developed a reliable, long-term memory, so they can learn from experience. It's the combination of all three that was the magic spark.
All right, so the tech is finally there. That's cool, but if you're looking at this as an investor, theories don't pay the bills. You need proof. You have to cut through all the hype and find the signal. And that's exactly what we got from a bunch of pilot programs that ran in late 2025. These are the real-world, documented wins that made those top VC firms sit up and take notice.
So, let's check out the first major test case, the legal world. A bunch of big law firms basically handed these new AI agents a huge, messy task. Do all the initial grunt work and research for our active cases. Now, this is stuff that usually takes teams of junior lawyers weeks, sometimes months to get through. And the results? Honestly, they were just insane. The agents cut down the time it took by an average of 70%. Let me say that again, 70%. That's not a small improvement. That's a complete game changer for how an entire industry works. That's a massive flashing signal. Now for the second big test area, software development. In this case, agents were brought in to help dev teams with all the tough stuff, finding bugs, writing tests, even building out early versions of new features from just a simple description. The whole idea was to see if they could speed up the process of building software.
And yeah, the result here was just as mind-blowing. The teams using these AI agents were getting new features out the door 3 times faster. That's not 30% faster, it's 300% faster. Just think about what that means for a business. You're innovating faster, you're getting to market quicker, you're leaving your competition in the dust.
And when you just look at the numbers like this, it becomes so clear. A 70% time savings in one industry and a 3x speed boost in another, you're not just looking at a niche little product here. You're looking at a fundamental shift in how work gets done, period. These are the cold, hard facts that got everyone so fired up.
Okay, so we've seen the power, we've seen the proof, but now for the question that really matters, especially for a beginner investor. How do you actually play this? How do you go from knowing what this is to knowing how to position yourself for what's about to happen?
This right here is the most important question. It's so easy to get swept up in the excitement and just chase the buzzword. But a smart, disciplined approach is what makes all the difference. And the cool thing is, those 2025 pilot programs didn't just show us the tech works, they gave us a roadmap for spotting the real winners in 2026.
So here's your playbook.
First, and this is the big one, follow the contracts, not the cool demos. A flashy video is nice, but a signed, multi-million-dollar enterprise deal, that's what's real. Second, know what to look for under the hood. Does the company have all three pillars, the reasoning, the tool use, and the memory? Or are they just slapping the agent label on a chatbot? The real value is in the complete package. And finally, watch for the jump from a successful pilot to a full company-wide rollout. That's the signal that a company isn't just a science project, it's a real business. That's how you'll find the winners.
So the first dominoes have already fallen, in law and in software development. But that was just the opening act. The real question is, what's next? An AI agent that can discover new medicines? One that can manage a city's power grid? The technology is no longer a what if. The proof is in the data. The only question now is, which companies are going to grab this opportunity and completely redefine our world? The race is on.